Howdy! It's your girl Chelsea, wannabehecate. Today we're talking about Venus signs. I think that, well, I'm hoping that a lot of people like this video and are excited about it because one of the main things I get asked as an astrologer, and I'm sure a lot of astrologers can attest to it, is what am I compatible with? Are me and my boyfriend compatible? Are me and my girlfriend going to get married? Venus signs can explain to us how we act in relationships, how we like to give and receive love, if we're very open and emotional in showing love, or if we're going to be closed off and reserved, prefer to do things low-key or behind closed doors. I'll also be talking about if you have Venus in a certain sign, what appeals to you, what you might be attracted to, how to win you over, if you will. Cheat codes. These are going to be split up by elements again, so they're not going to be in order. As always, the signs and the times that I talk about them are going to be in the caption. So you can go down there and look and find your sign. You can go to that section of the video and watch it, or you can watch the whole thing and listen to me talk for however long this is going to be. If, that's what you want to do, I'm cool with that. So make sure you know what your Venus sign is. Look at your birth chart. If you can, get your crush's birth time. Figure out what their Venus sign is. If you have a significant other and you know what time they were born, figure out their Venus sign. Maybe learn some different ways you can win them over. Understand better why they act how they act sometimes. So, let's start with earth signs. If you have Venus in Taurus, Taurus is a very practical sign. They're very fixed in their ways, so they don't give their love away very quickly or easily. It can take Tauruses a very long time to come to decisions because they really want to think things through and make sure that this is the exact right decision that they want to make. And they're going to do the same thing when they're choosing someone to love and give their trust to. And that doesn't even apply to just romantic partnerships for Venus and Taurus people. It's also going to apply to their friendships. They take a while and you have to earn their trust. Taurus coincides with the second house in the astrological birth chart, which is the house of money, the house of possessions. So people who have Venus in Taurus may be lucky when it comes to money. They'll definitely have a very keen artistic eye. They're definitely good at designing things, knowing what looks good together. They might also have an interest in music, have a nice speaking or singing voice, since Taurus also rules the throat and the vocal cords, the neck. People with Taurus placements tend to you like to hear them talk or sing. They sound really pretty. When you have Venus in Taurus, you can be possessive because Taurus, I call them the dragons of the zodiac. I think that they just have like their little hoard of something. If you have Taurus placements, you tend to be a collector. So in the same vein, they can kind of be possessive of their lovers because they treasure them a lot. When wooing someone who has Venus in Taurus, you have to show them that you are very loyal and that you are willing to wait for the time that it takes for them to make the decision to give you their trust. Basically tell them, take your time because you're worth the wait. Venus in Virgo. Very similar to the other earth sign Taurus in that you are more reserved in love. You're not super showy. You're not super flirtatious. Your love is more low-key. You're very dedicated in a subtle manner, and you're very interested in details. You want to know all the little details about whoever you're into, so that also makes you a good listener because you will just listen to them and try to learn everything you can about them. Venus and Virgos also have the commonality with Taurus that they like to play it safe. They have to know that the decision is okay to make before they make it. They're not going to make a risky move in love. They tend to have very good business sense. They're very refined and they have like a witty sense of humor. When you're wooing someone who has Venus in Virgo, don't be a show-off. Don't be a know-it-all. That really gets on their nerves. They don't like that. You really just have to show them that you appreciate what they do because that's what's most important to them. They want to do things for you and be of service to you. So show them that you appreciate their time and the effort that they're putting into you. Venus in Virgo may also have a tendency to be shy, so it's important not to push your people on them too soon, like your friends and your family that you want them to meet. You have to give them their own time to ease into that on their own. Venus in Capricorn, last of the earth signs, but just like the other two, cautious in love. If a Venus in Capricorn is into you, they're going to want to show you how steady and goal-oriented they are. They want you to see that they're faithful, they're very dependable, they're always going to be there for you. The number one priority for a Venus in Capricorn is giving the people they love security. My mom has Venus in Capricorn and all she ever tells me and my sister is, I just want to leave you guys a house. I want to leave something behind for y'all. Venus in Capricorns can come off as lacking in emotionality or warmth because they're not super showy like the other earth signs. They're more reserved. If anything, they're just shy about showing their love. They're more conservative. They may not be flowery and expressive when it comes to showing their love, but when they do say something, they always say what they mean. So even if it's not all the time, the little rare nuggets you get are really worth it. If you're trying to woo a Venus in Capricorn, show them that you are like them. You are practical, you are goal-oriented, you are working towards something. They want someone who is going to have the same work ethic as them and be interested in gaining that security that they're working to get. They want a team player who can work towards their goals with them. If you have Venus in Gemini, Gemini is the very playful and kind of frenetic sign that's just everywhere at once. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, Mercury being the Roman god, the messenger god. So when I hear Gemini, I think of like the trickster god, and I think of like very quick moving, fast paced. So when you have your Venus here in Gemini, you're going to be very playful. You're going to be hard to pin down because you like to flit around a lot. You're a social butterfly. You're probably very charming and witty. You probably have a large social circle, lots of friends. If Venus in Gemini is into you, they're going to want to show you how much they know. They're going to want to display how many interests they have to you. They definitely need intellectual rapport before they can sustain any kind of relationship. But like I said, they are very hard to pin down, and they tend to have so many interests that they just can't even focus on a relationship or a singular person. They're just focused on too many other things. If you're trying to woo a Venus in Gemini, make sure you give them space to have their friends and activities outside of the relationship. That's going to be a very high priority for them. To Venus in Gemini, when you make things super serious and when you talk about commitment and things like that, it's like an anchor to them. It really weighs them down. They're like butterflies to me. They just want to flit around and just be everywhere. They don't want to be tied down to one thing. My ex-boyfriend had Venus in Gemini. No commitment. Venus in Libra is in love with love. They are very romantic, maybe even hopeless romantics, you would say. Libra is the very aesthetic sign of the zodiac that is all about pretty things and having things look very nice. They're very fair, they're very kind, they always want to seek the middle ground. They're the scales, so they're always looking for balance and harmony. They're peacekeepers. If you have Venus in Libra, you probably have some kind of artistic talent or hobby. You may have a flair for designing things or decorating things. When you have Libra placements, there's no other way for me to describe it. You're just aesthetic AF. You may be extravagant with money and kind of have a careless hand when it comes to spending. Venus in Libra is also notorious for having more than one romance at once. Libra is like the zodiac sign, I would say, for having multiple lovers and just always flirting with everyone. That's like a Libra stereotype to me. If you are wooing a Venus in Libra, let them share things with you. They love to communicate, they love to talk, so just talk with them and share things about like your day with them and what's going on with you. They just want to know like just little things like that. Be fair with them. Libra is all about treat others how you want to be treated. They're the scales, so they definitely want you to be fair in all things. They don't like dishonesty or anything like that. I mean, technically no one does, but it really gets on a Venus and Libra's nerves. I'm a Libra sun moon, and oh my gosh, lying is one of my things. Like, once you lie to me, we're done. Venus and Aquarius people are very helpful, very giving. Aquarius tends to be the humanitarian sign of the zodiac. I'd say like Aquarius and Pisces. The thing about Venus and Aquarius is that their personal freedom is very important to them. They usually want to be seen as rebellious and open-minded, someone who goes against the grain. In this vein, they are usually attracted to unusual or unconventional relationships. Venus in Aquarius wants to be loved for their vision, their ideas, their intellect, so let them share those things with you. Beware if you are wooing Venus in Aquarius, they can seem kind of cut off or just emotionally detached. They seem like standoffish, but the thing is that they just aren't super emotional. The key to wooing them is to let them know how special they are, let them know that they're interesting, because they are, trust me. Aquarius placements have like super strong imaginations. There's always so much going on in their head, so they'll have a ton to share with you. And make sure you don't fence them in, because like I said, their personal freedom is very important to them. And since it's so important to them, they will also give you that personal freedom very readily. They're like, give me space to do my thing, I'll give you space to do your thing. Venus in Aries is the most upfront and direct in love, I would say, in the zodiac. Aries always wants to be first. They're the first sign of the zodiac, so they are not afraid to tell you how they're feeling. If they're into you, they're going to try to win you over by showing you how independent they are. The way that they express love is almost like centered around themselves in a way. They can't help it. That's just fire sign energy though, because Leos usually do the same thing. Venus in Aries is also notorious for bringing unexpected gifts. They love to do that, to just surprise you with something. Venus in Aries is very showy and flirtatious. It's almost like sentimentality, but it's mixed with this like aggression because it's Aries. They're very fun-loving, they're very energetic, they don't like anything that's like super stuffy or like mature. If you like someone who has Venus in Aries, definitely let them take the lead. They enjoy the conquest, so, you know, kind of like they enjoy the cat and mouse game. So, you know, just kind of play the game with them. For sure, they'll let them take the lead. Aries likes to be in control. Venus and Leo people, very warm, very generous. Leo is ruled by the sun. If you have Venus and Leo, you like romantic attention a lot. They like to pursue others romantically and be pursued romantically. They like to feel special. What Venus and Leo must have, is attention. Lots of attention and lots of loyalty. Leo is associated with the 5th house in the astrological chart, which is the house of creative pleasures. They tend to have a taste for theater, for finer things. Speaking of having a taste for theater, Venus and Leo can be a bit dramatic. They are good at making a scene. I would say Venus in Leo is one of the most physical when it comes to expressing love. The fire signs, I would say, in general, in Venus, would be the most physical in expressing love. Venus in Leo needs a lot of attention, and they seem very me, but they're also capable of making self-sacrifice in a way that some Venus signs aren't. They're willing to give up themselves or give up something important to them for someone that they love. If you're trying to woo Venus and Leo, all you have to do is give them that attention, like I said. Don't be indifferent to them. Don't make them feel like they don't matter to you. Let them know that they matter. Venus in Sagittarius can be tricky because Sagittarius is the sign of expansion in the zodiac. And Sagittarius, kind of like what I said with Venus and Aquarius, they value personal freedom. Double that, and that's Sagittarius. Sagittarius is super, super all about, I have to have my space. I don't know if any of you guys watch Rick and Morty, but it's like that episode of Interdimensional Cable where the guy's like, you're my personal space. So with Venus and Sagittarius, they definitely need to feel like they can grow and expand in a relationship. Once you make them feel caged or cornered, they're going to want to bolt. They're not going to want to be there anymore. They won't commit very easily. They can be restless, and they can tend to run away, like I said, when the going gets tough. Venus in Sagittarius is lighthearted, but they can also be serious. They're mostly attracted to people who are just in love with life like they are, who want to have experiences with them and share those experiences together. They're very outgoing, they're very imaginative. If you're wooing someone with Venus in Sagittarius, make sure you are giving them that space that I talked about, space for them to grow in the relationship. They're also super into debating, so, you know, have witty conversations with them and pick at their brain. Definitely don't make them feel cornered, like I said. Don't make them feel like they're in a rut or anything like that, or they're going to want to get the heck out of there. Venus in Cancer. Cancer is represented by the crab, so being loved is important to Venus in Cancer, but they hide it underneath their crab shell. Once they are devoted, though, they show their love by paying attention to you, being very devoted to you, and doing things for you, kind of like Venus in Virgo. Venus in Cancer, though, would rather be pursued than do the pursuing. They want you to come after them. They're very sentimental. Venus in Cancer is most likely to hold on to all those little things and scrapbook your relationship and keep ticket stubs. When you're wooing someone with Venus in Cancer, you need to help them feel confident in you. Venus in Cancer can worry a lot about being left, so you have to show them that you are here to stay. They need to feel secure with you, and once they do, they will also be very loyal to you and very dependable. Venus in Scorpio. Gang. That's me. We put love on a spiritual plane. Scorpio is far and away the most intense place for Venus to be in a birth chart. They have very deep feelings. They are the most willing to commit, I would say. When it comes to intimacy, Venus and Scorpio people are just not, they're just not afraid to be intimate like some other signs will be. Most people with Venus and Scorpio will do some kind of original artistic work. When you upset a Venus and Scorpio, you will definitely know that you did, because they will either give you a look or they will blow up and get super mad. I do both of those constantly. Venus and Scorpios are so committed to their lovers that they can get jealous. They can be possessive of them. They're just super, super into them. They're very devoted to you when they're into you. If you are wooing Venus and Scorpio, show them that you are just as committed and loyal to them as they are to you, and let them have a little bit of the control, maybe not all of it, but just let them do things sometimes. Venus and Pisces. Venus and Pisces just makes me go, Ooh, very dreamy, sensitive, gentle souls. You definitely probably like to feel things out in relationships rather than do a lot of planning. You're just kind of like, oh, we'll see where this goes. Venus in Pisces is kind of like Venus in Libra in that they're very romantic. They usually like poetry and things like that. Pisces placements tend to be very good at putting themselves in other people's shoes. Venus and Pisces people will have that same strong empathy, and they may get into this role of saving others. They definitely have like a weak spot for underdogs or people who just need help. They're also a lot like Venus and Gemini in that they can be hard to pin down when it comes to relationships. Pisces is just it's that water sign that's just very flowy. They're very go with the flow and let's just see what happens instead of like trying to plan ahead. So if you're wooing them, you have to put up with that, and you have to tolerate that lack of direction that they have and just accept that the time that you do get with them is going to be very fun. Enjoy that time, and they will give you an unconditional love once they're committed to you. It just might take some time for them to make that commitment. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I super appreciate you watching it. I know a lot of you are people I know in real life, my friends and stuff. So hearing people talk about it when I hang out with them is like so great and so fulfilling to know that people watch my videos and they enjoy them. That's why I do it, I also do $10 birth chart interpretations, and if you guys ever have questions about anything I say in my videos or questions about personalized tarot and astrology work, I wholeheartedly encourage you to please email me, DM me, whatever. Did you notice anything different? I move my Funkos around. I never know how to end videos. It's like not wanting to hang up the phone first. Follow me on Instagram. Love you, bye.